evening and welcome to the second round of the 2025 Class 11B South Dakota State Football Playoffs. Welcome to Cavalier Field, where tonight we bring you the very best of the Black Hills Conference, your undefeated, second-ranked St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Well, good evening, everybody. With Technical Director Braden Strain, Camera Operator Regan Dewar, this is Mike Fell, welcoming you on a perfect fall evening for football. It's a traditional East River, West River playoff matchup that it feels like we see many times. And in fact, tonight the Cavaliers play an opponent that they have seen more times than any team could see another team. It's the fourth time in 2 years that the Mount Vernon-Plankinton Titans have squared off against the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. The Cavaliers lead the series in the first three meetings 2-1. And who can forget that trick-or-treat instant classic game on Halloween night at Chad Greenway Stadium in Mount Vernon, where the Cavaliers rallied with a Noah Wald touchdown pass in the final minute to Ryan Negebauer to lift the Cavs to a come-from-behind 38-34 victory, propelling the Cavaliers into the ranks of the South Dakota High School 11B Elite. Cavaliers reach the Final Four, and they're trying to do the same tonight as the Cavaliers renew acquaintances with a Mount Vernon-Plankinton Titans team that the Cavaliers defeated soundly 29-8 back in week 2. That said, it should be noted, this Mount Vernon-Plankinton team is significantly improved ahead of the team the Cavaliers met up with about 2 months ago. How improved and why are they improved? We'll talk more about it throughout tonight's broadcast, but it starts with the availability of a game breaker, a player who can get to the edge, make plays in open space, and that would be Kyle Sandlin, a 160-pound senior for Mount Vernon-Plankinton. Kyle was unavailable due to a somewhat scary neck injury and head injury early in the season, but Kyle Sandlin is out there tonight for the Titans, and he is a player that Coach Austin Hagen says can get to the edge, and that's what you have to do against this vaunted Cavaliers defense, perhaps the best defense in the history of St. Thomas More, a defense that set the shutout streak this year with 6 and who held opponents to only 22 points over the course of the regular season. Well, this Cavalier team is a very special place in history. It's one of only 6 teams to ever start 9-0, according to our defensive coordinator, longtime activities director, and historian of St. Thomas More football, our good friend Craig Nowotny, letting me know over the weekend that the Cavaliers have reached that position. He heard me ask the question, and I sure appreciated that he shared the answer. The Cavaliers had 4 seasons in a row from 2004 through 2007 where they started 9-0. The Cavs have not started 9-0 for 16 years, and this may be the greatest of all the Cavalier teams, a team that has dominated thoroughly throughout the season, has yet to be played deep into the fourth quarter, and only the Sioux Valley Cossacks, who play number 1 ranked and undefeated Oak Point Jefferson on the other side of the state in about an hour from now, can say that they were even with the Cavaliers on the scoreboard in the fourth quarter of a game. Cavaliers tonight coming in with a lot of confidence. They had a convincing victory over Hot Springs last Thursday in the opening round, a game we had for you here on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. But it should be noted that perhaps beyond the score, what was really exciting was Coach Austin Hagan shared with me in our broadcast preparation meeting yesterday that this was a very physical version of the Cavaliers that we saw last week. And if the Cavaliers, we know they have the talent, we know they have the coaching, we know they have the quarterback and the experience, but what is often a intangible that should not be underestimated or overlooked is the physicality. When you get to these cold weather playoff games, a lot of times it's hit or be hit. And if you're delivering the shots, if you're delivering the physicality, if you're blocking and tackling with a bit of a mean streak attached on the other end, you're going to win a lot more playoff games than you're going to lose. It is a case of survival. Win in advance. The Cavs trying to get back to the Final Four. They can do that tonight, and it will not be an easy assignment. In fact, it should be noted that the opponent, Mount Vernon-Plankinton, has won 4 straight games. In addition, A.J. Kortemeyer, who is from Custer originally and has coached collegiately at Dakota Wesleyan University in Mitchell, he has done a marvelous job taking over for a successful head coach, Trent Olson, and made the decision to make some pretty exciting adjustments. And one of those adjustments was this. Coach Kortemeyer made the decision to go ahead and move his top blocker, his lineman, into a lead fullback position or a running back position, and that has really led to some big gains on the ground and has unlocked the potential of this Titan offense. The Titans, it should be noted, are the beneficiaries of a rematch. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It means that the Titans know how they can approach this rematch and how they can get better, and they have the element of surprise. For the Cavaliers, on the other hand, St. Thomas More has to fight any sense of complacency that may get into their mind or thought process about thinking, well, we beat this opponent 21 points last time. Why can't we go ahead and win that by that same score or bigger again? You can't afford to think that way when it comes to a rematch. And in addition to that, for the Cavaliers, they need to maintain that eye of the tiger. They need to be the aggressor against a team that they defeated 2 months ago that was without star linebacker and receiver Kyle Sandland when the two teams met before. Let's go ahead and also recognize that the Titans have played a much tougher schedule. Yes, the Titans are 5-4, but they ran up against an absolute gauntlet earlier in the season. The Titans, after they played St. Thomas More, the number 2 and undefeated Cavs, went on to play number 1 ranked Elk Point Jefferson in Mount Vernon, 32-14 at Heroes Field in Mount Vernon. Then the Titans played Wagner with their superstar on the Red Raiders in Mount Vernon, lost 20-8. Then it seems like maybe things bottomed out. The Cavs lost, or the Titans rather, lost to the Cubs 7-6 on Chamberlain's homecoming. But then look out. After that, the Titans' trajectory shot up exponentially. They won at Winter, a team that is playing tonight against Clark Willow Lake on the road in East River. They blew out Miller Highmore Herald 24-0 at home. And then this is really where everybody started to pay attention to Mount Vernon-Plankinton. MVP beat a previously undefeated number 3 ranked Woonsocket Wessington Springs Sanborn Central Bucks team 30-6 on senior night in Wessington Springs. And then the Titans were able to blow out the Mobridge Pollock Tigers in the opening round of the playoffs at home last week. The Tigers were 6-2 on the season, and so Mount Vernon-Plankinton with wins over Winter, Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock, all 3 teams with winning seasons. The Titans are playing some outstanding football, and they are flying high, and they're coming in seeking revenge, and they're coming in as a number 7 seed with nothing to lose. So get ready. The Cavaliers have a formidable opponent. They must contend with not only Kyle Sandlin, but they also have to keep an eye on running back Riley Mayer. And again, the Titans have just enough speed, according to the coaching staff for St. Thomas More, that they are going to be able to have the potential to break some big chunk plays against the defense. We'll see how that materializes on this beautiful autumn evening, the final Thursday in the month of October and the night before Halloween. Let's go ahead and get to the starting lineups. First, we'll look at the defense for Mount Vernon-Plankinton. Up front for the Titans, it's 265-pound sophomore Dylan Waltz, 165-pound sophomore Tegan Bush, 155-pound freshman Alex Rojas, and 230-pound senior Camden Stahl. The linebacking core, it's excellent. 160-pound senior Kyle Sandlin, 185-pound junior Tanner Baker, 190-pound senior Tice Feisner, and 190-pound senior Riley Mayer. The secondary shakes out like this: 160-pound senior Cole Sandlin, 165-pound sophomore Preston Nedved, 175-pound junior Paxton Nedved, and 165-pound junior Ethan Hoffman. Starting lineups for the St. Thomas More offensively. Over the football, under center, it's 250-pound senior Cole Nielsen, 225-pound sophomore left guard Jackson Rush, 270-pound junior left tackle, a player getting serious recruiting interest, Rush Turner, 280-pound senior and a big Chiefs fan, Pierce Morganfield, 220-pound senior left tackle Brody Lee has the other side of the line for Noah Wald when he drops back to throw. Broden Sales has led the team in points this season. He has had a tremendous year. 190-pound senior Broden Sales. The other wideouts, the Swiss Army knife, Kane McLeod, 170-pound senior Ryan Negebauer, coming off perhaps his best game of the season. And boy, did Ryan Negebauer have a great performance at MVP on Halloween night. And then there's 220-pound do-it-all tight end Max Speed in the backfield. It'll be 180-pound senior Graydon Juvie, along with 225-pound senior Josh Elder, and the quarterback, it's the commander, 169-pound sophomore Noah Wald. So here we go, the 9-0 Cavaliers against the 5-4 Mount Vernon-Plankinton Titans. Security First Bank brings you this broadcast. They remind you, whether you're cheering from the bleachers or spiking on the court, Show your Cavalier pride with the Cavalier debit card from Security Bank, First Bank. It's team spirit in your wallet. Get yours today. Security First Bank, member FDIC. We now turn our attention to the flag and the stars and stripes. And here, before our playoff game, is our national anthem. And here we go. It's the second round of the playoffs. The Cavaliers trying to get to 10-0 on the season. And they are ready in front of their home crowd to play some outstanding football. And this is the fourth meeting in 2 seasons as the captains head towards midfield for our coin toss. And you can feel things are different. There's a lot more media attention around this game than what we saw a week ago. I think that's a good thing, as the Cavaliers are the talk of the town. This is the Rapid City Central Cobblers were in a good one against Sioux Falls Lincoln. I was listening to some of that broadcast on the way here on News Radio KOTA with Steve Ammerman. And I'll tell you, this is a fun time of year with the Cavaliers. They are the team that the city of Rapid City is looking to right now, is a team that can bring a title to our community, and they certainly can. The Cavaliers are the complete package. They run about 60% of the time, pass for 40% of the time. Cavs are balanced, they're physical, they're talented. And if you believe the old axiom that defense wins championships, well, the Cavaliers are certainly set up for that. So we have finished the coin toss. Let's see who won the toss. Looks like the Cavaliers have won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. They will kick off, and they will play with the wind at their back in the first quarter. And if you remember, the last time the Cavaliers were in a situation like tonight, where there is a high wind, we were down in just outside of Pine Ridge at Lakota Tech High School, and the Cavs had the wind that entire first quarter, and they really made it count. It's going to be hard enough to move the ball against St. Thomas More, but if you throw in the wind, it's going to be that much harder for Mount Vernon-Plankinton on offense in the opening 12 minutes of this ball game. So here we go. We're thrilled to have you along with us wherever you're tuning in. If you're tuning in from the Mount Vernon-Plankinton area, welcome. We always are happy to have our audience tuning in. We always promote, celebrate the performance of both teams. This broadcast is always dedicated to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and we give him the glory. And for the record, this will be a pro Cavalier broadcast. Just if you're tuning in for the first time, expect it. Here we go. Long kick going to be handled by Riley Mayer at his own 5. Ahead to the 10, the 15, the 20. He's loose. He's at the 25, the 30, the 50, the 40, and he's down out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Wow, what an opening kickoff return by Riley Mayer, the 190-pound senior from Mount Vernon-Plankinton. And that gives the short field to the road team. But we have a flag down, oh my, way back at the 28-yard line. Sometimes that's in the vicinity of a clip or a hold. Riley Mayer, with such an impressive return, didn't look as though he needed to be the beneficiary of any kind of a penalty. Let's see what the call is. They may pick up the flag. Official comes out with the announcement. It's a block in the back, call against Mount Vernon-Plankinton. And that will push it's offsetting penalties. Okay, 2 penalties on the play. And now the Cavaliers will re-kick. And I'll tell you, that is an enormous break. You'll rarely see a pair of offsetting penalties that favors one team more than another, the way it just transpired a moment earlier. So we'll do it again. We'll kick off game number 10 of this football season for a second time. Cavs know that they have to cover the kickoff a lot better than they did last time. Here we go. Here comes a high boot from Carter Stamper, and it will go into the end zone, no return, and give Carter Stamper credit. He took matters into his own foot that time and kicked the ball through the end zone, setting up first down and 10 at the 20 for the Mount Vernon-Plankinton Titans. Well, that was just what the Cavaliers needed to do, and that block in the back for Mount Vernon-Plankinton, a very, very costly penalty. First down and 10, Titans. I'll be candid, I didn't see the block in the back. Doesn't mean there wasn't one, I just didn't see it. First down and 10. In the gun for Mount Vernon-Plankinton. It's Tice Feisner. He gives it to Sandlin. Sandlin runs hard, gets yanked out of bounds. No flag. He was tackled right along the sideline, and there it is. I mentioned in the Security First Bank pregame show that Kyle Sandlin, the player who was not on the field because of an injury in the first meeting between these two teams, he is capable of getting to the edge and making things happen, and it only took one play from scrimmage for that revelation to become a reality. First down and 10. Titans with 2 men in the backfield. They've got the jumbo blocker to the right, the Sandlin to the left. Keeping the football is Tice Feisner. Feisner gets hit hard but picks up good yardage, a gain of 6 on first down. It's 2nd and 4. Well, if you're just watching this game, I would say this: the Titans have passed the eye test. They've shown they can return a kick 70 yards with Riley Mayer. Kyle Sandlin has already found the edge and moved the chains. And we just saw a play right there that gained 6 yards up the middle with some pretty stout blocking. Titans are on the move, coached by A.J. Quartermeyer. In the gun is Feister. He hands the ball off to Mayer. Mayer steps out of a tackle, pushes a couple of tacklers for STM backwards, and gets the first down. Kyle Sandlin, not Riley Mayer, was the ball carrier on that last play. For St. Thomas More, they have now seen the Titans move the chains 2 plays in a row. So much for STM with their patented 3 and out to start the game. MVP has come from East River, ready to go tonight. Here we go. It's first down and 10. Titans with the football, running hard out of the shotgun formation is Feisner, and Tice Feisner picks up about 3 yards. Tice Feisner, Riley Mayer, Kyle Sandlin, all capable of breaking a big play every time the ball is in their hands. to be candid, see, we've got a note here. Video is frozen. Clock video is current. If you guys want to check on that. That came in about 3 minutes ago. And here we go. Here comes a quick handoff, run up the middle, and Sandland able to pick up 2 yards ahead to the 47-yard line. STM now able to force 3rd down for the first time on this opening drive. Mike Fell, Regan Dewar, Braden Strain with you. Apologize, we apparently had some freezing. And are we unfrozen, Braden? Braden has accomplished the technological achievement of a thaw on the fly. Speaking of flies, we have several in our booth tonight. Here we go. 3rd down and 3. In the gun is Feisner. Feister fakes the handoff on an RPO and then gets swallowed up for no gain. A flag came in at the end of the play. We'll see what this penalty infraction's all about. STM hoping it was not a face mask. Nope. It was holding on the MVP Titans. Well, MVP with a great football tradition. Minnesota Vikings superstar and legend. Hawkeye legend. Chad Greenway hails from Mount Vernon, and the press box is named after Chad Greenway. I, for a moment, thought the field was, and I remembered it's Heroes Field. Great folks in Mount Vernon giving credit to the true heroes, those who paid the ultimate sacrifice, protecting our freedoms and serving our nation. There's a delayed screen. Pass goes to Mayer. Mayer rambles beyond the original line of scrimmage, ahead to the 45-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7 yards. Brings up 3rd, call it an 8-yard gain. It's going to bring up 4th down and 4, and it looks as though the Titans will go for it. MVP versus STM for the 4th time since that hot, steamy night in August in 2024. And here comes a partially blocked punt out of bounds by Feister, and a flag came in late. And I don't know what the flag was all about. The official picks up the flag and apologizes, and she's smiling. All right, 1st down and 10 for St. Thomas More. Ball at their own 32-yard line. Sometimes the playoff moments can even get the officials to throw flags that they shouldn't throw. Here we go, STM 1st down and 10. Cavs go 4 wide, twins to both sides of the formation. Noah Wald, the commander, in a shotgun set. Juvie behind him. Wald takes the snap, goes deep, wants Sales, and it is caught at the 30. He's at the 25, the 20, gets a block. A flag comes in late, and that's a touchdown, but the block may have drawn a flag. The block might have been, dare I say, a little too good, as Sales sees a touchdown negated after making a 68-yard touchdown catch. And I think that call was sold by the MVP player, who says it was a shot to the head. And I will reserve comment. So that is a costly penalty for STM. Now, both teams in the opening 5 minutes of this football game have seen gains of more than 50 yards wiped out by penalties. So STM has a 1st down at the 40. The public address announcer for STM said whatever it was. That's maybe a good way to describe that last penalty. Here we go, 1st down and 10. Cavaliers break the huddle. They go diamond formation on the left side. Sails tight to the right. Quick pitch goes to Juvie. Juvie in trouble. Can't go anywhere. Great defense there. Making the hit in the stop for MVP on that play was Cole Sandlin, the twin brother of Kyle Sandlin. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Well, here we go. The Cavaliers, a high-flying offensive machine, breaking the huddle. They had a 68-yard touchdown pass wiped out on a block that was supposedly a blow to the head. 2nd down and 10. Bad handle, muffed handle by Wald on the shotgun snap. Wald eventually picked it up and was tackled for a loss of 2 yards. Making the stop was 185-pound junior linebacker Tanner Baker for MVP. No score. We've played 5.5 minutes of this rematch times 4. The second time in as many years that the Cavs and the Titans have met, both in week 2 of the regular season and round 2 of the postseason. In motion is Speed. Quick flare-out pass goes to Negebauer. Speed sets a block. And what a great combo tackle by Kyle Sandlin and Tice Feisner. This MVP team, if you're wondering what they kind of look like, I'll be candid. I do get a little bit of Hot Springs Bison 2022, 2023 circa vibes when I watch Coach Quartermeyer's Titans play, and you can really see the improvement. Man, this MVP team is not the same MVP team we saw on that hot, sweltering, humid night in August. There's a quick flare-out pass, close to a 1st down. Ball is caught by Ryan Negebauer for a 1st. What a really impressive tight curl route by the consummate pro, senior Ryan Negebauer, who moves the chains and gives the Cavaliers a fresh set of downs at the MVP 29-yard line. The lights are on. The sun is still shining. The shadows have overtaken Cavalier Field. Good evening to all of you wherever you're watching. It might be dark back in Mount Vernon or Plankinton by now. In the gun, it's Wald. Wald, flare out pass to Speed, and he drops it. And MVP, playing until the whistle, thought it might have been a backwards pass. And it will be 3rd down and 10. Check that. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Max Speed and Noah Wald, they have each put the ball on the field, unable to handle a shotgun snap and unable to handle a screen pass. And what might be a bit concerning for STM is the fact that they have made some miscues so far. There's a hard count and an offsides free play for Wald. Wald goes deep. He's got a man, and it's almost intercepted in the end zone by Ethan Hoffman, the 165-pound junior. And that'll bring up 3rd down and 10. That time, Noah put a lot of air under that deep pass, and he just couldn't bring in the INT, which would have been a touchback at the end zone. We're St. Thomas More versus Mount Vernon-Plankinton. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Braden Strain. You're watching the 2nd round of the 11B 2025 state football playoffs. 3rd and 10. Wald in the gun. Juvie standing behind him. Back to throw Wald. Wald with plenty of time. Runs out of the pocket. Throws, and it's broken up. Great play right there by Preston Nedved for MVP. Man, did Nedved anticipate that route. And I think that Nedved did a fine job of watching the quarterback's eyes for Noah Wald. So we are going to see a very long field goal attempt coming up. Carter Stamper will try a 46-yard field goal to try to put the Cavaliers on top early. Cavs to try a long field goal with the wind behind our kicker. High snap, ball down, kick is up, it's got a chance, and it's good! Carter Stamper drills his second 40-yard field goal plus field goal of the season in front of a live audience here at Cavalier Field and a huge audience watching across the state. Yes, college coaches, Carter's that good, and yes, college coaches, Carter is that smart. It's 3-0 Cavaliers. I can't recall ever seeing STM start a game with a 3-0 lead since Jack Green drilled a 53-yard field goal against Hot Springs back in 2020, which was our first ever STM Cavalier Sports Network broadcast, and happened to also be the first game that Austin Hagen ever coached in our program. It's 3-0 Cavaliers. What a weapon Carter Stamper is, and when you get to these big-time playoff games like we have tonight, long field goals are an important weapon. Long kick, handled at the 1. Running with it is Mayer. Mayer makes a man miss. He's still on his feet. He's finally dragged down at the 27-yard line. Good return by Riley Mayer. No flags on the play. So the flags tonight, they are pink because October still has 2 more days left in it. And October is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we, of course, how about that? We got Braden Strain. He is in costume again, but I think it's a different costume this time. Flying squirrel, I like it. Okay, jungle theme. All right. Welcome to the jungle. My favorite Disney movie was The Jungle Book. Here we go. First down and 10. In the gun. It's Feisner. Feisner running, making a move, and he's dropped off his pins with a sure tackle from St. Thomas More middle linebacker Josh Elder. And that'll make it 2nd down and 6. Cavaliers and the Titans locked in a good one. One thing's for sure, I don't think we're going to have a score that's up into the 30s like we have had in both meetings a year ago in the 2 games played at MVP. And, of course, the first game of the season was 29-8, won by the Cavaliers on their home field. 2nd down and 5. Quick pitch goes to Sandlin. He's in trouble, and he's dropped for a loss of 3. Great job there by Broden Sales to not only seal the edge, but to penetrate. And Joe Giacometto, who stayed home, was able to clean up that play after containment was secured. It's 3rd down and 8. The scoreboard says it's 3rd and 30. It's not. Here we go. In the gun for MVP, it is Tice Feisner. He gives to Sandlin. Sandlin cuts it up field, but runs into a myriad of Cavaliers after a gain of about 4, and that'll bring up 4th down and 4 yards to go for Mount Vernon-Plankinton. And Graydon Juvie and Kane McLeod, the Swiss Army knife, they are ready to return the punt unless the Titans decide they want to go for it or try a fake. You really have to watch for a fake here. Here comes the punt, and it's away. It's a high end-over-end kick. Calling for a fair catch and securing the ball is Graydon Juvie at his own 39. So the Cavaliers will take over. 1st down and 10 in a matter of moments. Security First Bank reminds you, finding the right home is like scoring the game-winning touchdown. Security First Bank offers mortgage options to get you across the goal line. Home loans with a hometown touch. Security First Bank, equal housing lender, NMLS number 505011. Here we go. Cavaliers spread 4 wide, triplets to the near side. They give the ball up the middle to Juvie. Juvie pops off a tackler, Kyle Sandland, and gets 5 yards on first down, bringing up second down. Let's call it 2nd and 6. Cavs really mixing things up, and talking to Coach Austin Hagen yesterday, he said the Cavaliers will unveil some new run-pass option plays in tonight's game as they continue to expand off of the brilliant mind of assistant coach Stone Durham with those RPO outside runs. Running up the middle with some good blockings, Graydon Juvie, and he has the first down, advancing the football right to the midfield stripe. So the Cavaliers have it first down and 10 at midfield. Cavs and Titans, we've played 10 minutes of football. Each team not even close to getting a touchdown, unless you consider the penalty-stricken plays that we saw earlier. Here comes a flare-out pass to Speed. Speed in trouble, gets gang tackled. Great play right there by MVP's Paxton Nedved. St. Thomas More with 2nd down and 8. The Cavs actually lost a couple of yards a moment ago. The Cavaliers will be against the wind in the second quarter, but what's important is the Cavs lead 3-0, in part aided by Carter Stamper kicking with the wind behind him when the Cavs were stopped on their last drive. Running hard and trucking Kyle Sandland is our very own Graydon Juvie. Man alive, Sandland just got smacked to the turf. Juvie is living proof that dynamite can come in small packages, able to move the chains with a gain of 11 down to the 39-yard line of MVP. So glad to have all of you with us. An early start tonight. We like to start early for visitors from far away, like MVP. Here comes a flare-out pass, and the knee is down by Kane McLeod. That's a costly kneel down. Certainly an unintentional consequence of a low pass from the commander, Noah Wald, and that'll likely be the final play of the first quarter. Well, the Cavaliers and the Titans are locked in a playoff duel through 12 minutes of play. It's St. Thomas More 3, Mount Vernon-Plankinton nothing. You're watching the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. Security First Bank reminds you, every great team needs a strong defense. Both of these great teams tonight are proof of what you can do when you have a strong defense. Protect what matters with health and life insurance from Security First Insurance. It's your coverage. It's your peace of mind. Insurance products are not FDIC insured, have no bank guarantee, and may lose value. Well, you can talk personnel. You can talk about rematches, something that coaches hate, especially coaches that win in the first meeting of the season between two football teams. But you can't underestimate the importance of a tough schedule. The Cavaliers' toughest opponents on paper this year, which are MVP and Sioux Valley, have records right now of 5-4. But Mount Vernon-Plankinton, they have wins over 6-2, Robridge Prolick, 7-2, Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central, 6-3 winner. Candidly, and that doesn't even include losses to tough teams like number 1 Elk Point Jefferson, MVP has cut their teeth on a tougher slate than the Cavaliers this year. Here comes a run by Josh Elder. That's a good gainer of about 5 yards. And I always think it's a big advantage when you get to the end of a season and you play tough competition. Red Blake, the legendary coach of the Army in West Point, once said back in the 40s, you can't build strong teeth by eating mush. Not saying all the Cavaliers' opponents would qualify as mush, but Cavaliers did not play the same schedule that MVP did. Here we go. Running with it is Wald. Wald in trouble. Is going to throw a backwards pass to Elder. He breaks the tackle. Let's see what happens. Elder scampers ahead and gets back close to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 4th and 8. Well, that was a dangerous play by Noah Wald, and I'll tell you why. He made an assumption that his backfield mate, Elder, was the only man back there. I'll tell you this, if MVP had read the possibility of an emergency in case of emergency break the glass screen that you just saw from Noah Wald, certainly that could have been intercepted with a pick 6. There's a shanked punt of no gain by Broden Sales. We have now seen some mental miscues by STM that begs the question, did the Cavaliers bring their laser focus into tonight's game? It sure doesn't look like it. We haven't seen Broden Sales shank a punt out of bounds at the line of scrimmage all season. We've seen Max Speed drop a routine screen pass. We've seen Noah Wald drop a shotgun snap. The Cavaliers have not played like the Cavaliers. 10:25 to go in the first half. Titans, receivers split to both sides. 3 men in the backfield. It's Feisner in the gun. He wants to keep it himself. He's at the 35, dives ahead, gets tackled by Josh Elder for no gain. STM's defense, they've been reading MVP pretty well. Mount Vernon-Plankinton made an adjustment that rarely works, but it has. Coach A.J. Quartermeyer, who hails from Custer nearby, able to enlist his blocking back, Tegan Bush, to pave the way on sweeps. Here comes a throw to Mayer, and it's caught for a first down into Cavalier territory at the 37. Mayer able to thread the defensive secondary with Ryan Negebauer and Graydon Juvie coming in just a step too late. And man, I'm telling you, the Cavs are not playing and showing the vibes, the body language of the team we've seen all season long. It's first down and 10, Titans. Titans driving. They trail this game 3-0. Carter Stamper had a 42-yard field goal back in the first quarter. Under 9 minutes to play in the second quarter. Tice Feisner there with a run of 4 yards. Brody Lee able to make the tackle from his end position. MVP in their traditional road whites with the black pants. STM in their black pants with the home solid blues with the metallic gray, and the STM with the Holy Cross as the T and the STM logo. Second down and 6. Feisner throws a pitch to Sandlin. Sandlin goes outside, now cuts it back inside. Gets close to a first down to the 30-yard line. And Cooper Sales able to prevent the conversion on second down to bring up third down, and we'll call it a long 2 for MVP. Winner of this game tonight will advance to take on either number 3 seed Clark Willow Lake or defending state champion winner. Coming in, dressed for Halloween, if you will, as the 11 seed. There's nothing about winner that says 11 seed. Here we go. Running to the right with it is Feister. He's stacked up and dropped with forward progress. He appears to be short, and a flag is down on the play, and a yellow flag, not a pink flag. Let's see what this penalty is. It's a face mask against St. Thomas More on the tackle, and that will move the chains and give the Titans far and away their best position on the field so far tonight. We've had a fast-moving first half on a chilly autumn late afternoon and early evening. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar and technical director Braden Strain, thrilled to have you along with us tonight. One of 4 games across the state in the South Dakota Class 11B quarterfinals. The Titans break the huddle. Camden Stahl to the right. Sandlin to the left. Sandlin with the give. He takes the run and gets dropped by Broden Sales. Sales able to keep Stahl, or rather Sandlin, from only picking up 1 yard. Kyle Sandlin had a scary injury the opening game of the season against McCook Central Montrose. He was unavailable when these two teams met back on August the 29th. But he is here tonight, and he is a serious factor on both sides of the line of scrimmage. 2nd down and 10. Titans break the huddle. Sandlin to the left of the quarterback, Feister. Feister wants to throw, drops back to throw. He's flushed, runs up the middle, and gets more yards than he expected to get. He lobbies for a face mask. He's unsuccessful in his lobbying efforts. Earlier lobbying efforts by one of the Titans brought a flag on a 78-yard touchdown play from pass from Wald to Sales. The block, which was impressive, may have not even really been required for Sales to score. And the shot to the head, according to the MVP player, deserved a penalty, and it drew the flag. Looking back, that was a very big flag. 3rd down and 6. Ball is at the 11. Running with it is Feisner. He runs hard. He's finally ridden by a Cavalier defender, but not before he moves the chains and sets up 1st down and goal to go at the 5. Now here is a statistic that has to be shared. The Cavaliers this season 7 times have had an opponent get inside their own 5-yard line and have failed to score at all. We'll see if the Cavaliers can turn away the Titans. Cavs haven't had an opponent inside their own 5 since the trio of East River opponents they played to start the year. Here we go. Keeping it is Feisner. Feisner dances in the backfield, leans ahead, gets about 2 yards. Tegan Bush, who was the lead blocker, he just got thrown out of the pile there like a bale of hay. 2nd down and 5. Cavs trying to make one of their patented goal line stands against MVP. Cavaliers, they can bend, but they don't break. Touchdown that broke the 6-game shutout streak last week by Hot Springs was a kind of a broken play, and Grant Heil ran it for 71 yards. Here we go, running with it, breaking it outside is Feister, and he scores, and MVP has found the end zone, and for the first time since the first game of the year, St. Thomas More is trailing their opponent. The Mount Vernon-Plankinton Titans, with a 5-yard touchdown run by Tice Feisner, have taken a 6-3 lead. It looks as though the Titans have a play coming in and will attempt the 2-point conversion. They will. Stahl in the backfield along with Sandlin. In motion goes Cole Sandlin. Here comes a fake handoff. RPO dive up the middle is good for 2 points by Tice Feisner. And Feisner able to put 8 points on the board. And what really stood out with Tice Feisner, both on the touchdown run and the 2-point conversion run up the gut, was the fact that Feisner was patient. He waited for the opportunity to make a decision, and in both cases, that paid off. Well, it's safe to say this. The Cavalier faithful is stunned. I know one person who's not stunned is head coach Austin Hagan. He knew how far MVP had come. But what I am stunned about is STM is not sharp. They are not playing with that same energy level and same physicality that we have been accustomed to seeing every game since the Custer game. This is not the time for the Cavaliers to come in flat. 4:10 to go in the second quarter. Mount Vernon-Plankinton 8, St. Thomas More 3. It's a good chance if you had one of those Super Bowl squares cards, this isn't the set of boxes you were looking for. Here we go. Here comes the kickoff from Feisner. It's taken on the fly by STM. Running hard with it, sails, and he runs out of bounds with the ball near midfield at around the 40-yard line. Cavs will take over 1st and 10. STM trailing in this game, and they are working against the wind in their own minus territory here. 1st down and 10 at their own 40. Cavs need to find a way to get the lead before a halftime and make a statement to their visitors from East River. Cavs will break the huddle. Cavs just need to raise their level. You can sense a little frustration building among the Cavalier players right now. Here we go. Quick handoff goes up the middle, and that's going to be stacked up and thrown back as Graydon Juvie. Juvie thrown down like a rag doll, able to pick up 4 yards ahead to the 45. That didn't look like a 4-yard run, but give Juvie credit. He kept his head down, shoulders square, and pushed the pile farther than it appeared from the naked eye. 2nd down and 5 now for STM. Cavs go 4 wide, twins to both sides of the formation. Juvie in the backfield. Wald in the gun, takes a snap. Noah throws in the flat, and it's dropped by Kane McLeod. Another drop by the receiving corps for STM. The Cavs have just not been sharp. Now a flag comes in after the play. And was this an unsportsmanlike penalty against Cole Sandlin, or perhaps against another one of the MVP players? Let's see. Unsportsmanlike conduct penalty against Mount Vernon-Plankinton, and that's the last thing you need if you're A.J. Quartermeyer and the MVP Titans, is to draw a penalty saying something that is deemed to be unsportsmanlike. The officials' eyes work and their ears do too. 1st down and 10. Titans break the huddle. Cavs in the gun. 3:24 to go. STM needs to tighten up, sharpen up, and make something happen. Quick run goes to Elder. He's got some room to run. He's loose. He's at the 30, the 25, and he's submarined by Tice Feisner at the 23-yard line. Man, Josh Elder absolutely rumbling with a huge hole. And that was a great play call by Coach Hagan and the Cavalier coaching staff. I think they noticed MVP was really bunching up inside the middle, and they did a good job there of moving the chains. St. Thomas More right in front of our broadcast position has it 1st and 10. Run goes to Juvie. Juvie gets tripped up but dives forward for a good gain of 7 down to the 18-yard line. Call it a gain of 5. Down to the 18. Tanner Baker able to make the spot tackle from his linebacker position. 2:20 and counting. Cavs trailing 8-3, but they're on the move, trying to respond to that 8-play touchdown drive recorded minutes ago by MVP. Back to throw is Wald. Wald runs to his left, looks for someone to get open. Nobody's home. A flag comes in late, and we may have a hold against STM. The side judge threw the penalty flag in the vicinity of holding, and that will wipe out any gain on the play.
Rewind the tape and do it over again.
Cavaliers will have another opportunity to break a big play at 2nd down, and let's call it 15 for the 10-yard holding penalty. MVP, they are very assignment sound in their defense. They're also physical. That's what you expect from the East River teams this time of year. Going in motion, max speed. Back to throw, Wald. Wald runs to his right, fires the ball, caught by Speed, close to a 1st down with forward progress. I think he's got the fresh set of downs, and what a great play there. Noah Wald finding max speed for 16 yards all the way down, or let's call it 17 yards from the 28 down to the 13. That's a 15-yard gain. Excuse me? I thought it was max. Okay, here we go. 1st down and 10. Back to throw, Noah Wald. Flag is down. This could be a hold or a free play. We're not sure. Running with its Wald. Wald will get all the yards he can on the far sideline before the whistle blows. Flag starting to come out aplenty. 1:26 remaining here in the first half. STM trailing by 5. They would love to get a touchdown before half, and we have an illegal shift called. And this game really getting called pretty tight. Here we go. Cavs with it 1st down and 14 now. Ball is at the MVP 18. I formation set. Handoff. There's a fumble. It's picked up by STM. Running with its speed. He won't go down easily, and he gets 5 yards. Max Speed with a fumble recovery and a gain of 5. That was nearly a disaster as the ball carrier, Graydon Juvie, coughed up the football, and it just rolled over to tight end Max Speed, who thankfully was alert, and Speed able to rumble for 5 yards. Dave Casper style right there as a tight end, of course, known with the Oakland Raiders back in 1978 at Jack Murphy Stadium for the player who got on top of Kenny Stabler's holy roller. I'm trying to forget that play as a San Diego Chargers fan. All right, it's 1:01 to go. The Cavaliers have it 2nd and 10 at the 13-yard line. Of course, this is well within Carter Stamper's range, even with the wind in his face, but the Cavs aren't thinking 3 points. They're thinking touchdown. And for MVP, they are playing like a team nobody should want to see this time of the season. Cavs go 4 wide. On the near side, it's Wald. Wald throws. He's got a man. It's Negebauer. Touchdown, Ryan Negebauer. Touchdown, Cavaliers. St. Thomas More responds to MVP's touchdown run with a 13-yard touchdown strike from Noah Wald to Ryan Negebauer, and the Cavs have a 9-8 lead. Will they go for 2? No, they will try a single point after. They will not follow the book, so to speak, and go for 2 to get a 3-point lead. They won't chase points here in the first half. Stamper set to kick, snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it's good, but a whistle, I think, might have blown the play dead before the kick. Nope, it counts. Cavaliers 10, Mount Vernon-Plankinton 8. STM responds, and I can't begin to tell you as the cheer team gets ready with the cheers. We missed the cheer team last week. They were at the state tournament, finishing 5th in the state. Way to go, Coach Tracy Stamper and senior Corey Ryder and the Lady Cavs. And not only that, St. Thomas More, they are able to respond. And in the playoffs, you have to do that. I think what I'm most encouraged about is St. Thomas More has not found themselves in this position very often. Only the season opening game against Sioux Valley did the Cavaliers find themselves trailing in a game, and they responded against the Cossacks back on August 22nd, and they just responded moments ago as the Cavaliers are fired up, and you can just feel it. They got their confidence, their playoff swagger back with that touchdown drive. Here we go. Ball bounces to Mayer. He's at the 15. He's at the 20, breaks a tackle. He's at the 25, and he's ridden down. Making the tackle there for St. Thomas More was, I believe, Hayden Haig. Great play right there for STM. Want to thank all of our sponsors, including Collins Siding, Strain Chiropractic, where they take truly care about every patient like family, and Monument Health, the official athletic training partner of St. Thomas More Athletics. We see Kristen Whitley. She's got her playoff stocking cap on tonight on the Cavs sideline. Running with it is Kyle Sandlin. Sandlin going to be stacked up and dropped after a gain of 8 to the 34-yard line. And Joe Giacometto makes his second solo tackle of the first half. And now A.J. Quartermeyer calls a timeout. Well, what a job A.J. Quartermeyer has done this year. It's not easy to take over for a great coach like Trent Olson and then find a different way to move the football and to unlock the potential of your team. But here MVP is right back in the exact same spot they were a year ago, playing in the second round of the 11B football playoffs. Great job, A.J. Quartermeyer, who was a coach at Dakota Wesleyan and Mitchell. That's the same school where St. Thomas More soccer and basketball star Sloan Kessler goes to school as a freshman. And also, A.J. Quartermeyer doing a great job with the Custer Wildcats. So here we go. MVP breaks the huddle. It's 2nd down and 3. Receivers split to both sides of the formation. Camden Stahl in the backfield. Sandlin to the left, Stahl to the right, Feisner in the gun. will take the snap. And he'll hand off on the RPO to Sandlin. Sandlin tries to get the edge. He can't get it. Ryan Negebauer absolutely sealed the edge with a caulking gun right there. My goodness, that was something else. Just a thing of beauty by number 1, Ryan Negebauer, who has the only touchdown catch by either team tonight. That might have been the final play of the first half. Nope, the Cavs called timeout on 3rd and 7. I'm surprised the Cavs called a TO there. But they still have, I think, one more timeout remaining. Maybe they're going to just try to see if they can't force a punt and a punt return before the half. Cavaliers 10, the Titans 8. Winner of tonight's game takes on Clark Willow Lake, or winner, STM with a long history with Winter. Cavs would relish an opportunity in the Final Four to try to get payback for what Winter did to STM last year, which was defeat the Cavs 36-0 back on the first Friday in November at Warrior Field. Cavs are at home with home field advantage on the bottom side of the 11B bracket this year. 3rd down and 6. In the gun is Feisner. Handoff goes to Sandlin. Or Meyer. Meyer running hard. Going to be dropped in bounds. And a flag is down. So this will not be the end of the half unless this is declined by the Cavs and the penalties on the Titans. And the officials say put 4 seconds on the clock. Let's give credit to our technical director, Braden Strain. He's got his flying squirrel costume on. I'll tell you what, flying squirrels are really something to behold. I thankfully have never come face to face at close range with a flying squirrel. Here we go. We have a penalty against MVP. The Cavs will enforce the penalty. That'll bring up 4th down and 14. Titans playing the Cavs tough on the road tonight. So glad to have all of you with us. It's been a very entertaining playoff football game, and this game has felt like a playoff game, and it's the first time the Cavs have really been challenged. That's it. The Cavs will let the clock run out. Really the first time the Cavs have been challenged since opening night when Sioux Valley and STM were tied through 3 quarters of play. Well, we have reached the halftime intermission. Let's recap the scoring, why don't we, for St. Thomas More. The scoring started with a 42-yard field goal. Carter Stamper makes it with the wind at his back, puts the Cavaliers up 3-0. Then Mount Vernon-Plankinton had an 8-play, 70-yard touchdown drive of their own, and they were able to finish the drive with a 5-yard touchdown run by quarterback Tice Feisner. And then Feisner, when the Titans went for 2, able to cash in with a delayed quarterback keeper up the middle. That put the Titans in front 8-3. Then St. Thomas More responded with the short field. There was a very costly, unsportsmanlike penalty called against MVP after a tackle for loss play. That really rejuvenated the Cavaliers, gave them the short field, and a key play on St. Thomas More's touchdown drive was a pass from Noah Wald to Max Speed to pick up a 2nd and 15 on the Titans side of the field. That set up at 2 plays later a Ryan Negebauer touchdown grab from the commander, Noah Wald. That touchdown pass was Noah's 31st touchdown pass of the season against only 5 interceptions. Another play worth noting was there was a fumble by running back Josh Elder, or rather Graydon Juvie, that rolled about 3 yards. Thankfully for STM, was not recovered by MVP, and Max Speed was able to pick up the ball and gain 5 yards. It wasn't the gain that mattered. It was that the Cavs on their go-ahead touchdown drive late in the first half were able to retain possession. Well, everything I've heard about MVP was true preparing for this game. This team is physical, it's deep, it's disciplined, it's assignment sound, it's well coached. And how about the performances of quarterback Tice Feisner, running back Kyle Sandlin, and running back Riley Mayer? To have 3 players who can make things happen is exciting, and Camden Stahl, the 230-pound lineman converted to a fullback, has certainly provided that crunching lead blocking capability that can set up bigger gains on the ground for both Kyle Sandlin and Riley Mayer. The defensive play for MVP has been good too. Cole Sandlin and the Nedved brothers have played well. Ethan Hoffman nearly had an interception in the end zone late in the first quarter. And Tegan Bush and Tanner Baker, they've been flying around for the MVP Titans as well. For St. Thomas More, Ryan Negebauer has picked up right where he left off. The dynamic senior, the closer for Kelvin Torvey's post-22 Hard Hats team in recent years, able to step up in big moments. And of course, MVP fans, if Ryan Negebauer came to the front door, I'm not sure they'd give him any candy. Negebauer with a touchdown tonight against MVP late in the first half, and it was Ryan Negebauer who had the game-winning touchdown at Heroes Field in Mount Vernon with under a minute to go last year in one of the most exciting games we've ever, if not the most exciting game we've ever had on our 6-year coverage of the St. Thomas More Cavaliers on the Cavalier Sports Network. We'll see if we can get some scores from around the state to pass along. Cavaliers game was actually one of the earlier games to kick off. Even though we're in Mountain Time, the East River kickoffs are almost always set for 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead here and sort out what we can. Don't see any scores sent to me. I'll go ahead here and see if I can find a source to give you some scores. Here we go. Let's see what we have. Only good teams are playing this week, with the exception of some of the bigger school classifications where maybe the top 8 teams are just okay. Let's go ahead and look at some scores if we can. See if we have a score. Rapid City Christian at Sioux Falls Christian. No score on that one. And we do have a score in Triple A, Class Triple A. It's the Harrisburg Tigers in the first quarter, leading the Catholic School in Sioux Falls, Bishop O'Gorman, 10-0. The Knights are in trouble early. Other scores to pass along tonight in 9-man action. It's the Hanson Beavers leading the Elkton Lake Benton Elks 12-0. Coleman Egan on top of Harried Selby 6-0. Earlier today, final score. Nope, that's last week. I almost gave last week's score when I didn't want to. See if we can get a score in that Cobbler game. STM, or the Central Cobblers were at Sioux Falls Lincoln at Howard Field tonight, and see if we can get a score on that game. That game kicked off pretty early this evening at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock local time. Just not a lot of scores to report. There is no World Series game tonight. Should mention that. The Toronto Blue Jays leading the Los Angeles Dodgers 3-2. Let's take a look back at what a special week it has been. The Lady Cavaliers on Tuesday night. If you haven't seen this volleyball match, you should go to the Cavalier Sports Network channel and rewatch the game. But the Cavaliers were down in a fight for the Black Hills Conference title with Rapid City Christian, 19-14 in the third set. The Cavs rallied behind Kesley Benda and setter Anna Henry, and then the Lady Cavs pulled out the third set victory, won a back and forth, absolutely thrilling 27-25 win in the fourth set, and then the Cavs won by 6, 15-9 in the fifth and decisive set. And Coach Michaela Phillipson in her second year at the helm, leading the Lady Cavs to their first Black Hills Conference Volleyball Championship since 2019. And for the Lady Cavs volleyball team, they joined their sisters in Christ, the Lady Cavs soccer team, coached by first-year head coach and alum Cassidy Stolle, as the Lady Cavs soccer team reached the Final Four and also won the Black Hills Conference soccer title this year. It has been a marvelous fall sports season. Hayden Haig able to win the individual boys golf state championship. Amity Strand doing a marvelous job playing tennis on the reigning state girls tennis championship team that won it all a year ago. And it was just a fun year all the way around, all the fun sports. The boys soccer team reached the playoffs. Boys golf team was in the top 3. The cheer team was runner-up in the Black Hills Conference and finished 5th in the state in Watertown. What can you say about the environment and the culture that Ryan Messick does such a great job fostering and leading as our great activities director this year at St. Thomas More High School? And we, of course, tip our hat to our defensive coordinator, Craig Nowotny, who had a hand in a number of the great hiring decisions of the coaches for these fall sports that are doing so well. Let's go ahead and recognize some of our sponsors, in addition to Security First Bank, who reminds you if you're ready to launch your career game plan, Security First Bank has opportunities for students and professionals. Join their winning team. Apply today at securityfirstbank.com/careers. We want to thank Collins Siding. They believe in giving back. They offer discounts for our seniors and veterans. You can call Gene and the amazing crew at Collins Siding today at 605-348-5728 or visit collinsiding.com to get a free consultation. Whether you live in the heart of the city or the sprawling countryside, we've got you covered. That's the words of Collins Siding. Cowan Siding has an expert team offering a wide range of durable product options. For over 50 years, Cowan Siding has been the trusted name in the Black Hills, serving homeowners with top quality products and installation. The Cavaliers are back on the field, leading 10-8 here at the intermission. You're listening to the Security First Bank halftime show. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar in the booth. Technical director Braden Strain wearing his flying squirrel costume tonight, keeping us rolling. Let's pass this message along from Strain Chiropractic. At Strain Chiropractic, they truly care for each patient like family. They take the time to listen, provide personalized care, and they make referrals when it's in your best interest. Their team offers high-quality chiropractic services that go far beyond a quick adjustment. They focus on thoughtful, comprehensive care that supports your overall well-being. As one of the largest chiropractic clinics in the area and the 2024 Best of the Black Hills Award winner, Strain Chiropractic is honored to serve our community with excellence and compassion. Well, the Cavaliers are getting loose. They lead by only 2 points here at the halftime break. Cavs definitely have a formidable foe. This improved Titans team has bounced back from a 21-point loss back in August against STM. They came in winners of 4 straight, and you can see why. This is a tremendous team that A.J. Quartermeyer has brought here tonight to Rapid City from East River, in an area just a little bit to the north of I-90 and west of Mitchell. It's a beautiful part of our state. I've been heading to the communities of Huron, Mitchell, Wessington Springs, and Woonsocket the last couple of weeks on some company business assignments, and it is a great part of South Dakota, that's for sure. Well, for the Cavaliers, they're hoping that home equals dome. The Cavaliers going 9-0, becoming only the sixth program in school history to start 9-0 and the first since 2009. The Cavaliers are in a position to take a huge step to the Final Four. They lead by only 2 points. STM deferred to the second half and took the win. What that means is the Cavs will receive the opening kickoff to start the second half. And if the Cavs can do something with that opening kickoff and tack an extra point on the board, they'll be up by 2 scores right out of the gate. And if they could put MVP down by 2 scores, I can't tell you how big that could be, because MVP is so dynamic in the running game, but they are not known for throwing the football and playing from behind if they're trailing by more than a score. Other great sponsors of tonight's game include Culver's Restaurant. You better hurry in and get your pumpkin spice taste of the season while you can. I know I've been enjoying the great pumpkin spice shakes and the salted caramel pumpkin spice concretes these last couple of weeks. It just makes fall so great. We thank Culver's for sponsoring the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. We also salute Quinn Construction, Shields, Watiki Water Park, Ruby Tuesdays. That's where the Cavaliers eat. Rosenbaum Signs and Meyer Dental, along with the South Dakota National Guard, the Market at Tuscany Square, and Monument Health, the official sports athletic training partner of St. Thomas More Athletics. Well, here we go. We're ready for the second half. The Cavaliers getting set to receive the opening kickoff here in the second half. We are excited to be with you tonight. I love playoff football. And happy Halloween one day early to all of you folks out there. I know my kids can't wait to go trick-or-treating. I can't wait to go with them tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Keith is going to be dog man. And and little Cosette, she's going to be a sweet little pumpkin out of the pumpkin patch, our 1-year-old baby girl. It's going to be just a great Halloween. Happy Halloween. Try not to scare yourself too much. And be safe out there. Make sure people can see your costumes. And folks, if it's after 8 o'clock at night, it's time to go home. Don't be that trick-or-treater that bangs on the door at 8:30 and scares the neighbors and annoys the neighbors. When it's 8 o'clock, that means you're done. Just take what you have and go feast and enjoy the rest of your Halloween night. So just call it quits at 8 o'clock if you're trick-or-treating. All right, we're happy to have you with us tonight. 10-8, St. Thomas More leads Mount Vernon-Plankinton. Mike Fell, Regan Dewar, Braden Strain with you on a very crisp night. Let's see if we can get a temperature reading as we kick things off in the second half here in Rapid City. Our temperature right now is 47 degrees, but it 46 and clear, but it feels right now like 42 degrees. I see a number of fans with stocking caps, gloves, and scarves. Here we go. Long kick handled by the Swiss Army knife, Kay McLeod. He's at the 15, the 20, and he's dropped down at the 26-yard line. Making the tackle was Ethan Hoffman for MVP. You have to love 11-man playoff football. Most of the players play both ways. They sure become familiar in the heat of the moment and the heat of the battle. And these two teams are super familiar with one another. It's their fourth meeting in 2 years, going back to August the 30th, 2024. Here comes a snap to Wald. He gives to Juvie. Juvie runs out of the backfield with a vengeance and picks up 9 yards to the 35-yard line, bringing up 2nd down and 1. It's so dangerous if you give the Cavs offense 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2, because the Cavs pass 40% of the time. You just don't know what they're going to do on 2nd and 1. In the gun, it's the commander, Noah Wald. He gives the ball up the middle to Juvie. Juvie stretches out, picks up 4, and moves the chains. And the Cavaliers avoid a 3-and-out, and Juvie's a little shaken up at the end of that play. Coming in for Graydon Juvie is a running back off the bench. Couldn't tell who that was. Josh Elder's in the backfield. I think Juvie was, let's hope Juvie's okay. Okay, Cooper Sales. No, that's not Cooper Sales. Okay, here we go. It's a botched play. Wald in trouble running against Sandlin. Gets absolutely thrown down hard on the sideline. That's drawing a bunch of flags. That is definitely Kyle Sandlin for MVP. Committing a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. Man, Sandlin, he had the ball carrier out of bounds, and then he just absolutely swung around quarterback Noah Wald, and that drew multiple flags. That's twice now the Cavaliers have been aided by 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct penalties by MVP. That was an egregious penalty. Here we go. Handoff goes right side to Elder. Elder hesitates, then turns on some level of acceleration, picks up 4 yards down to the MVP 37-yard line. Cavaliers up by 2, 10-8. A touchdown and extra point would be huge. It would give St. Thomas More a 2-possession, 9-point lead. Something to think about. And by the way, give credit to Austin Hagan. He didn't play the short-term scoring metrics and go for 2 when it was 9-8. Here's a pass to Kane McLeod. McLeod going to be wrestled to the ground right there by Mount Vernon-Plankinton's Preston Nedved. St. Thomas More. Looks like Graydon Juvie's back in the game. Under 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. The winner of this game advances to take on the winner of Clark Willow Lake and Winter going on tonight in the northeast part of our great state. 3rd down and 2. The Titans jump off sides. That's going to be an automatic first down as MVP enters the neutral zone and has whistled for it. And right now, MVP, they're playing a great game, but man, they are really hurting themselves with senseless penalties. MVP just really their own worst enemy since midway through the second quarter. St. Thomas More the beneficiary of these lapses in judgment. In the gun, it's Noah Wald. Elder behind Wald. Wald takes a snap, rolls, throws, has a man, and it's caught for a first down by Ryan Negebauer out in the flat, down by the 20-yard line. Ryan Negebauer is having a playoffs run. He was excellent last week on both sides of the ball, and he has been absolute dynamite so far tonight, really being the top offensive producer on the evening. He has the Cavs' only touchdown catch back in the second quarter. Cavs leading 10-8. Wald fakes a handoff, rolls to his right. He's got a man open, doesn't see him. Wald in trouble, is going to go down. Completing the tackle for MVP right there was Daniel Dorsey. Wald had, I think Wald had max speed open for a little while there at the second level, and I don't know if Wald was concerned about an interception, wasn't sure of what he was seeing, or if he just was looking elsewhere. But that's a loss of 3 yards. It's 2nd down and 13, 7:45 and counting in the third quarter. Cavs up 10-8 and driving. Man goes in motion, that's speed. Handoff to Elder. Elder with great blocking up front. Runs, he fumbles at the end of the play. MVP says they have it. And let's see what the ruling is. The official says Elder was down before the fumble. And you don't see much argument from MVP. And this is, again, a common trend for the MVP Titans where they try to lobby the officials. This is the 3rd time that we have seen MVP look as though they went to Pierre to take lobbying lessons. It's 3rd down and 5 for St. Thomas More. I love acting, but I'm not such a fan of lobbying. And I don't know if many of you viewers are either. 3rd down, and if you're a lobbyist and watching, no offense. Here comes a throw. It's a touchdown for St. Thomas More. Wald finds Broden Sales on a slant, and the Cavs are on top 16-8. Wow. St. Thomas More will try a very important point after kick. Negebauer to hold, Stamper to boot. If Stamper can make this extra point, St. Thomas More will lead by 9 and they will force MVP to come from behind in a 2-score game. Here we go. Snap back, ball down, kick is up, and it's gone! St. Thomas More 17. MVP 8. The Cavaliers, aided by multiple penalties, able to go down the field in 9 plays and cash in on a touchdown pass from Wald to Broden Sales from 13 yards out. St. Thomas More with a pair of touchdowns from Negebauer and Sales leads 17-8, and they have now scored 14 unanswered points here in this second round Class 11B quarterfinal clash. Well, what a tremendous response by STM. They were down 8-3. They were dropping passes. They were making unforced errors. They just weren't playing with the same energy. The crowd was somewhat out of the proceedings. But what MVP did that they should never do on the road in the playoffs is commit penalties. They didn't have to commit. And STM has dearly stuck it to the Titans for penalties that were completely avoidable. Here we go. Running with it is Riley Mayer. Mayer running hard. Will get pushed out of bounds after a great return. Riley, who had a 50-yard return on the opening kickoff, erased by what was called a block in the back. I didn't see the block in the back, but that was an offsetting penalty sequence to start the game. And STM, by the way, they had a 70-yard touchdown catch wiped out when there was a flag for a blow to the head on a block. And again, it was a lobbying effort by an MVP player who got his clock cleaned that was able to draw the flag. First down and 10. Titans break the huddle. Twins to the far side. One man in the backfield. It is Feisner pitching the ball on the option to Sandlin. Sandlin gets hit and finally dropped after about 4 yards. Kyle Sandlin, he is dangerous. And by the way, that last play you just witnessed was the same option sweep that Coach Kortemeyer and the Titans executed in their only touchdown of the game in the earlier meeting between these two foes. Check in with Regan Dewar. Are we good, Regan, that we don't see any of the other things? Okay, we're good. Thanks for checking. Here we go. Second down and 9. Handoff to Sandlin. Sandlin running hard, looking for a block. Can't find one. He gets tripped up and dropped after a gain of a yard. Well, the offensive line for MVP in the second half is a mere reflection or shadow of the offensive line we saw at the outset of this game. St. Thomas More, I think, is wearing down Mount Vernon-Plankinton at the line of scrimmage. You are not seeing the holes for MVP that you saw in the first part of this game. Third down and 7. 2 men in the backfield. Stahl and Sandlin. Back to throw is Feisner. He fakes a man, throws in the flat. It's caught. This is a big play. Meyer at the 50. He's pushed out of bounds at the 40. What a tremendous play by quarterback Tice Feisner. He really faked out the pass rusher for STM and just threw the ball down the chimney to find Riley Mayer in the flat, and Mayer did a great job. There's a flag down, and they're going to call a hold against MVP. Wow. That is a big call to make in that moment. I didn't see the hold, but an official says there was a hold, and that will move the ball back It's still a good play for the Titans, but that spot foul, I think, is a first down. Yes, it's a first down. The chain gang a little slow on the link or the clink. They are waiting for the officials to move, and I don't think the chain gang was aware of just how far down the field Riley Mayer was on that play. First down and 10 Titans. So the Titans had a holding call, pushed them back into their own territory, but enough yardage was accrued on the play for MVP to move the chains. Titans with the ball, first down and 10. Receivers split to both sides of the alignment. High snap, handled by Feisner. It gives to Sandlin. Sandlin wants the edge. He can't get it. Good play on the far side of the field by St. Thomas More's Ryan Negebauer. What is Ryan Negebauer not doing right now? He is just such a difference maker, especially against MVP. If MVP fans wanted a picture of nemesis in the dictionary, they might want to put Ryan Negebauer's senior picture up there. It's second down and 5. 3 men in the backfield. Feisner in the gun. Waits for the snap. He takes the snap. Now he fakes a pitch, and that was a bad choice. The Cavalier is able to wrap up Feisner, and they decide that discretion's the better part of valor, and they do not throw Feisner to the turf. Third down and 4 now coming up for MVP. Mike Fell along with Regan Dewar, Technical Director Braden Strain. Happy to have you in the house with us tonight. Coming to you live under the lights, our final October football broadcast and our final October sports broadcast of the year. We will bring you Lady Cavalier volleyball from the regional semifinals from the Security First Bank Court of Champions on Thursday, a week from tonight. There's a quarterback run by Feisner. It goes for a gain of 2 with forward progress, setting up fourth down and let's call it 3 for MVP. The Titans have pushed the football into plus territory. For fourth down and 3 for MVP. Call it 4th and 2. They have the ball resting at the Cavalier 48. Titans are down by 9. That is huge because the Titans must score twice if they want to come back and win this game. Clock becoming a bit of a factor too. 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. STM 17 and MVP 8. MVP, by the way, have scored 8 points here at Cavalier Field twice this year. Question is, will the Cavaliers keep MVP at 8 points, or will MVP add to that number and come from behind? Another factor, and for any MVP fan watching, we have to point this out, and this is not stating the obvious, but it's a realization of physiological science. We are at 3,700 feet above sea level elevation here next to the Black Hills. And if you come from East River, South Dakota, you don't have, there's an interception! Picked off by Sales. He might score. He's at the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown, Cavaliers! Broden Sales with a pick 6 on a pass attempt from Feisner to Mayer, and the Cavs have broken this game wide open, 23-8. Wow. I was just talking about the elevation factor and how teams on the road can wear down because they don't have the same white blood cell count in a football game as their opponent. In this case, STM is used to 3,700 feet. MVP is not. And that is an advantage. Here we go. PAT kick is up, and it is good. St. Thomas More 24. MVP 8. It is still a two-possession game, but now the Titans must score 2 touchdowns and convert a pair of extra point attempts. What a huge touchdown that was. Feisner, I don't think, even saw Broden Sales, and Broden was like the ghost on Halloween night behind the proverbial door of the haunted house. He just kind of made his appearance known when it was too late for Feisner. And Sales, with that speed of his, Broden Sales this year with about 15 touchdowns on the year, able to take it the distance on the house call in the south end zone to lift STM to a 24-8 lead. 1:49 to go in the third quarter. The Cavs have scored 21 unanswered points after trailing 8-3. Now the Cavs have scored not with the help of penalties, but they have scored with a turnover. Cavs will kick it away. Mayer and Sandlin to return for MVP. The Titans have won 4 games in a row, including some very impressive wins recently over the Bucks of Woonsocket, Wessington Springs, Sanborn Central, and Mobridge Pollock last week. But the Cavaliers now are in a position where they have 13 minutes and 49 seconds between them and MVP in a trip to the Final Four next Friday night, in a game we will have for you here on the Security First Bank Cavalier Sports Network. We're hoping to get permission to broadcast the state championship game if the Cavs can advance to the title game. No word yet from Ryan Messick as to whether we have been granted permission for the broadcast. There's a tackle for loss. The Cavs meeting in the backfield. And right now the blocking just isn't there for Mount Vernon-Plankinton. Josh Elder was there in on the tackle. Right now STM swarming to the football, and they are the fresher team. They're the team playing at high elevation. MVP. They just look worn down and worn out with a minute to go. The Titans must score twice with touchdowns and go for 2 and make it. There's a hook and ladder play. Good catch there by Cole Sandlin. Quick pitch to Riley Mayer. You got to love that pick and ladder play there. That brings back memories of the greatest football game of all time when the San Diego Chargers beat the Miami Dolphins, and Duriel Harris was able to pitch to Tony Nathan to score right before halftime of that 1981 AFC Divisional Playoff game at the Orange Bowl in Miami. 3rd down and 8. The Titans break the huddle. Twins to the near side. Cole Sandlin split to the right. Now he goes in motion, and he will fake a quick pitch. There's a throw on a slant, and what a textbook tackle Josh Elder made. Oh, man. Josh Elder getting after it, and now the coaches for MVP think there was excessive celebration. They're yelling at the officials. Now a flag comes in late. Things are getting really heated. A.J. Kortemeyer is furious right now, head coach of MVP, as are some of the Titans assistants, that Elder, for his display after that tackle, wasn't flagged, as the Titans players were flagged earlier for their unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. That's half the distance to the goal. The ball is all the way back at the 13, and right now, the Titans coaching staff, and I'm sure many Titan fans watching at home tonight, have probably just about blown their top. 4th down and a country mile. The Titans felt they were entitled to a unsportsmanlike penalty, excessive celebration on Josh Elder, and they definitely had a case, but there was no flag. And of course, every coach will tell you they want the calls going both ways. So it goes. We get ready to play the final 9 seconds here of the 3rd quarter. Punt formation for MVP. Set to return at midfield is the Swiss Army knife Kane McLeod and fellow senior Graydon Juvie. Here comes the kick from the goal line. It's a wobbler. Takes a good MVP bounce, a great bounce, no return. That's a net kick of 40 yards all the way out to the 48-yard line, and here we go. It's the 4th quarter. Cavs put their fingers in the air. 4th quarter, here we come. STM dominated the 3rd quarter, outscoring MVP 14-0, and here comes my favorite Halloween song. It's Ghostbusters. Yes. If you're seeing things that don't look good, who are you going to call? Call Ghostbusters. And one thing's for sure, they offer financing. They even offer ghost storage facilities that the EPA tried to shut down in the movie. Oh, man, you got to love Ghostbusters. And whatever you do, don't get slimed like Venkman, played by the legendary Bill Murray. Oh, what a movie. Have you seen Ghostbusters, Regan? You have not. You need to see that. Please do. You will absolutely love Ghostbusters. Man alive. What great performances. Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis. How about that line with Rick Moranis? He plays a nerdy tax guy, and he's in the middle of throwing a party, and he makes an announcement that he's invited all of his clients because he saves more money than throwing a party with friends. Anyway, here we go. 1st down and 10. Cavs line up 4 wide. Twins to the near side. Twins to the far right. Quick flare out bubble screen goes to Negebauer. He has it at the 50, runs ahead to the 43. Good tackle right there by Kyle Sandlin. Also Tanner Baker in on the tackle as well. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. Well, it's been great to watch Kyle Sandlin play for MVP. He is a stud player. He was injured back in the season opener against McCook Central Montrose, and he has been instrumental in the great second half resurgence for MVP, getting the Titans back to the quarters this year. Here comes a run. Graydon Juvie gets tackled and helped back up to his feet by Tanner Baker. It'll be 3rd down. It'll be 1st down after that run. There's a Thursday night football game tonight. Lamar Jackson returns for the Baltimore Ravens. They are on the road at Tua and the Dolphins. 1st down and 10 for STM. Triplets to the right side. Cavs go 4 wide. Wald looks to throw now, decides to slide down, and he is down at the 32. Good no call there. One of the defenders came in for MVP, and he pulled up. Yes, he went above Wald, but he avoided Wald. Second down and 5 now for the Cavaliers. Cavs leading by 16, would love to get one more touchdown and put this game away and make it a 3-score lead. Second down and 5. Ball at the MVP 33. Handoff goes to Juvie. He's at the 30. He's at the 25, and he spins over Riley Mayer and is dropped at the 21-yard line. Graydon Juvie, with his best run of the evening, able to move the chains and put the Cavaliers on the cusp of entrance to the red zone. Heading towards the north end zone, working against the wind here in the fourth quarter. First down and 10, STM. Diamond formation to the top. Wald in the shotgun. In motion now, going outside his sails. Here comes an inside give to Juvie. He's got room to operate, and he runs close to another first down. Down to the 12-yard line. Graydon Juvie. He may not be a big hammer, but he can be a hammer. And the Cavaliers are putting the hammer down right now on the MVP Titans here in the second round of the playoffs. Cavs in the red zone have it at the 13. Twice tonight, STM has scored from this exact spot on the field. Wald in the gun. Takes a snap. It's a high snap. Loses it. Gets it. And wisely just falls down on a slide back at the 29-yard line. The commander, Noah Wald, is going to get a little extra yard tacked on in his direction. I don't know how, but he is. It's third down and 28 now for, call it third and 18. Third and 16, the announcer says. Cavaliers will spread 3 to the top of the formation. Split to the near tight is a very dangerous Ryan Negebauer. In the backfield, it's Elder. Elder picking up pass protection. Wald going to throw, and it's incomplete. So that will bring up fourth down and 17. And could we see Carter Stamper try another long field goal? If the Cavs could make a field goal here, they would have a 3-score lead. And yes, indeed, we get to see Carter Stamper attempt a 45-yarder against the wind. Oh, you got to love Coach Hagan trusting in his kicking game here in the playoffs. 45 is a long kick, but against this wind, it's a very long kick. Technically, this will be a 44-yard field goal try for Carter Stamper. Negebauer to hold, Stamper to kick. Titans threatening to try to run in and block the kick. Here comes the kick, it's up, and it is no good. Wide left, it had the distance, it didn't have the accuracy. And the score remains St. Thomas More 24, Mount Vernon-Plankinton 8. Wow. What a kick, what a leg Carter Stamper has. That ball just went wide left, and we will see the ball now shift to MVP. Now here's the deal, Titans fans. You're down 16, but it's a 2-score game. You're still in this game. STM last year rallied from 10 points down 2 scores in the fourth quarter on the road. Let's see if the Titans have it in them. Here comes a reverse pass. That ball is caught. No, it is dropped. Incomplete pass is the call. Pass was intended for Cole Sandlin. It looked for a moment that Sandlin had made the catch and made a quote-unquote football move. Well, That's simply an incomplete pass, or as some famous playwright once wrote, much ado about nothing. It's 2nd down and 10 now coming up for the Titans. Titans with the ball at their own 20-yard line. Here we go. Running to his left is the quarterback, Feister. He makes one man miss, a second man miss, and he's finally caught up by 2 Cavaliers, but not before he gains an impressive 7 yards to bring up 3rd down and 3. The Titans must go for it on 4th down at this stage of the 4th quarter, trailing by 16, 24-8. So expect Coach Quartermeyer to do his best Detroit Lions head coach Dan Campbell impersonation and go for it on 4 downs no matter what. 3rd down and 2. In the gun. And move is Feister, and Sandler that time jumps out of a set spot, set position, and that's a costly 5-yard penalty. Brings up 3rd and 8. Sandlin knew it the moment he did it. He didn't want to do it, but he did it. Clock is moving. 7:15 and counting in the 4th quarter. St. Thomas More has scored 21 unanswered points. MVP midway through the 2nd quarter was on top 8-3, and the Cavs were somewhat catatonic. Back to throw. The quarterback, Feister. He's in trouble. And he fumbles the ball. Ball is loose, and I think a Titan recovered it. They did. Sandlin able to get on top of that ball, it appears, and it's 4th down and 17, and now you wonder if it's 4th down and going for it no matter what. I think you have to go for it. This is the playoffs. Cavs are looking for a punt, but would you surrender if you're MVP and you're only down 2 scores? I know I wouldn't. And we will not see a punt. A.J. Quartermeyer thinking like me, and now St. Thomas More has to call a timeout because they were thinking punt, and I really don't understand why. I mean, if the game was out of reach, sure, you wouldn't go for it on 4th and 17 in your own territory, but when it's a 2-score game and it's still up for grabs, you got to believe MVP's going to go for it, and they will. For STM, if they can make a stop here, they'll take over with excellent field position and have a chance to really run out the clock and put the game away. St. Thomas More trying to advance to the Final Four for the 2nd year in a row. They won 38-34 at Mount Vernon-Plankinton last year on Halloween night. Trying to do it again. Trying to win 3 games out of 4 against MVP in the last 2 seasons. MVP is a very good football program, and I think we're all safe to say we're blessed to line up and play against A.J. Quartermeyer's outstanding Titans team, and we're also blessed to go up against Coach Trent Olson's MVP Titans last season. Here we go, 4th down and 18. I say blessed, I mean that's because MVP is really good. There's a throw, it's deflected, incomplete pass. No, they didn't blow the whistle, now they do. Feisner's pass is broken up, and the Cavs will take over. 1st down and 10 at the MVP 13-yard line with 6:04 to go. St. Thomas More with a golden opportunity to put this game on ice on this chilly 42-degree evening here in Rapid City. How about the Cavaliers? We may have some scores coming up. We'll have to sort this out. We do. I want to thank our good friend Robert Satter for getting us these scores. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. Handoff goes right side to a churning Josh Elder. He's got 9 yards. A flag comes in near the end of the play. That's usually going to be offensive holding. We'll see what the officials tell us. 6 minutes to go. We are halfway through the 4th quarter exactly. And this penalty is against St. Thomas More. So, wipe out a good run on 1st down. Let's get to those 11B quarterfinal scores. We've got some good ones here. At the end of the 1st half, Winner at Clark Willow Lake tied 6-6 at Clark, South Dakota. Warriors and the Cyclones tied at 6. With 1 minute left in the second half, or the second quarter, Sioux Valley really putting up a fight against number 1 EPJ. EPJ 20, Sioux Valley 19. Here's a run up the middle for Elder, gain of 3 yards. And also in tonight's quarterfinal action, it's the dual Cardinals 14 leading the Wagner Red Raiders on the road at Cardinal Field 14-6. So right now, duel in a duel with Wagner up by 8 on the road. Clark Willow Lake and Winter tied 6-6, and of course Cavs are up big 24-8. There's a pass to Max Speed in the end zone. That's incomplete. We'll bring up 3rd down and 13. So no sign yet as to who will come to St. Thomas More if the Cavs can hang on and win this football game. Cavs, could they play Winter again in the Final Four in a rematch of a 36-0 Winter victory? Last year, Winter had all of those seniors. They were able to rotate 10 deep on the line. Here comes a shorter field goal attempt for Carter Stamper to make it a 3-score lead. Here comes a 33-yard field goal, and it is no good. Carter Stamper misses back-to-back field goal tries, and the score remains 24-8. And give the Titans defense a lot of credit. They did not fold their tent after being stopped on 4th and 17. They turn away the Cavs from points, and with 5:18 to go and still almost all their timeouts, the Titans are not out of this game. But they need to score quickly, and they need to make their 2-point conversion attempts. Here we go. Feisner back to throw. Cox fires, has a man open, and it's incomplete. That pass looked good, but the launch codes were a little bit away, off of kilter from Ethan Hoffman, the intended target on that pass. Hoffman really got open on that one. St. Thomas More, accustomed to playing the run against MVP all night long. St. Thomas More needs to maybe adjust their settings a bit, getting ready for the Titans and their new pass attack. Here we go. In the gun is Feisner. Feisner looking to throw, has time, throws, complete. Catch made by Cole Sandlin. Sandlin gets by Negebauer and finally gets knocked out of bounds by Joe Giacometto. Joe Giacometto, man, he's been tough this year. And here comes a medical helicopter from Monument Health across the street right over the field. Kind of spooked folks out a little bit, got Regan's attention. 3rd down and 3, back to throw Feisner. Feisner all day to throw, throws in the flat, it's incomplete. It looks as though when the Titans receivers go out for a pass that they are not polished route runners. They seem to run to a spot and see what happens next. none of the Titans would be confused with Art Monk or Henry Ellard or Charlie Joyner for sophisticated route running. 4th down and 3. Titans split men to both sides of the formation. They've got 2 in the backfield. There comes a fake handoff. Feisner on 4th and 3. Gonna go down. He's sacked. The whistle blows, and the Cavs will celebrate and take over on downs. And now it's time to get excited, Cavs fans. 4:49 to go. Cavs up by 16 points. Some of the youngsters being told not to run around on this new track sponsored by Shields. It's fun to see the youthful exuberance of the younger brothers and sisters and the kids that come to these games, but sometimes I guess they get a little too close to the field. 1st down and 10, and in the gun it's Wald. A flag comes down. Man, that flag was thrown so high into the air. We could almost grab it, Regan. That was pretty cool. There's an art to throwing a flag, I guess. I don't know what that would be. Of course, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I can't even properly throw a paper airplane. It's now 2nd down and 15. I know our technical director, Braden Strain, he can throw, if he can fly a drone, I bet he could probably thread the needle with a paper airplane. Here we go. Here comes a run by Juvie. Juvie with nowhere to go. Twists and turns his way for a gain of 5. Back to the original line of scrimmage, the Titans' 20-yard line. But what a season it's been for MVP. No team in the state played a more challenging gauntlet of opponents than MVP. And when the night's over, it looks like the Titans might be 5-5. But, man, I tip my hat to these Titans. This is not a 5-5 team. This is a great playoff team that just happened to have a 5-5 record. There's a run up the middle, a gain of 4. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. St. Thomas More has played MVP 4 times in 2 years. When the South Dakota High School Activities Association comes out with the schedule in a couple of months, it will be interesting to see if we see these teams play each other again. I'm all for it. I think a lot of you fans are too. There's a little bit of a step into the neutral zone. I think the pass rusher got back. Wald looking to throw, throws, and it is caught by Max Speed for a 1st down at the 5-yard line. Noah took his time to throw, but Noah Wald, the outstanding sophomore quarterback who has thrown for 3 touchdowns tonight, or 2 touchdowns tonight and 32 on the season, against only 5 interceptions, showing a maturity, an experience level, and a wisdom far beyond his years. Wonder if he gets that wisdom from Grandpa Wall. Do we see it all the games? Here we go. Run up the middle. Goes to Graydon Juvie, and Juvie is wrapped up by Tanner Baker and stopped after a gain of 2 at the 3-yard line. St. Thomas More, if they could just get one more score by either touchdown or field goal, would certainly have this game wrapped. Give MVP credit. This is the first opponent to take the Cavaliers deep into the 4th quarter with at least a chance to win since Sioux Valley back in week 1. I formation set. Quick pitch goes to Juvie. Juvie's got room and he scores, but a flag is down at the line of scrimmage, and that might take away the touchdown, and it will. Offensive holding on St. Thomas More. Now here's where that is not a bad thing for the Cavs. The hold actually just gives the Cavs a license to take more time off the clock, leading 24-8. But you had to take the penalty if you were MVP or you would have given up points. So
Repeat, second down.
no sense in declining the touchdown run that was aided by a holding call. Here we go. Second down, holding penalty. It was the right call. Second down and 12. I formation. 2 men out on both sides. Running to the right is Wald. Wald fires a ball, and it's caught by Speed at the 1. And he gets absolutely popped by Ethan Hoffman. Hoffman gave Max Speed a shot. And Max says, I like it. Max absolutely loves contact. How about Max Speed at the volleyball match the other night? He was making me smile and laugh the whole time. He wasn't going to let the Christian student body get in a word or an expression or a chant as the Cavs rallied to win that match. Here we go. I formation set. Handoff to Elder, and he's in there for the touchdown. Touchdown, Cavaliers. St. Thomas More 30. MVP 8. And now the Cavs have made it a wider scoring margin than they did in their Week 2 victory when they won 29-8. They now lead this one with 1:36 to go, 30-8. And here comes a PAT kick from Carter Stamper. Ball is down, kick is up, and it is good. Carter Stamper, a perfect 4 for 4 on extra point kicks tonight. 1 for 3, including a 42-yard field goal from field goal range tonight. How many times does a kicker get 3 field goal kicks in a playoff game and 4 PAT kicks? Doesn't happen too often. It's kind of a kicker wonderland for Carter Stamper. 1:36 to go in the fourth quarter. St. Thomas More 31. MVP 8. The Cavaliers are only 96 seconds away from 10-0. They would be the 6th team in program history to win their first 10 games of the year. Cavs could be hosting Clark Willow Lake, or they could face winner. Clark has an ounce of history on their side. Back in 2002, they came here to St. Thomas More and defeated STM in the Final Four. That was when it was just Clark and not Clark Willow Lake. It was only the Clark Comets, a maroon-clad team that doesn't exist anymore. I talked to Coach Hagan, and he said, yeah, he remembers the Clark Comets. They used to be in the same conference as the Sisseton Redmond, who Coach Hagan grew up playing for and cheering for as his father, who's on the staff, coached for many years in the Northeast Conference. It's first down and 10 for the Mount Vernon-Plankinton Titans at their own 19-yard line. The Titans break the huddle. They go 4 wide. In the gun, it's Feistner. Feister to throw. Fires in the flat, and it's complete. Good catch made there by Riley Mayer at the 25. The ball carrier, the receiver, was ruled out of bounds, so the clock stops in the final 2 minutes. How about that Cavalier comeback in the final drive in the final 2 minutes last year at MVP? That was one of the most exciting 2 minutes of football I've ever seen in my almost 30 years of broadcasting high school football. Here we go, running to the right. Firing is Feister, and there's an interception by Broden Sales, his second pick of the game. Well, Sales had a pick six, and this time it's all she wrote as he puts the Cavs in victory formation with an INT. What a night. Sales with a touchdown catch, an interception return for a touchdown, and a regular pick to go along with a lot of great plays. And now here comes, with 1:21 to go, Caleb Wald to kneel down in the victory formation. Caleb, younger brother, 8th grade brother of Noah Wald, taking the kneel down snaps from Big Brother, sophomore Noah Wald, and we plan to talk to head coach Austin Hagan after the game. There's a media frenzy here at this game tonight. Coach Hagan's going to have to fight through a lot of reporters to get up here. We'll send you down there, Regan, to block for him if you're up for it. It's up to you, though. You're going to pass. Yeah, you're inside. You're really not dressed for 38 degrees either. And there's a kneel down, and the handshakes begin. St. Thomas More wins 31-8. They will be at home, most likely, with a 5 o'clock kickoff against either Winter or Clark Willow Lake, with a trip to the Dakota Dome on the line. The Cavaliers have taken the first 2 steps towards a state tournament championship game appearance. What a win this has been for STM, and what a magical season it continues to be. All smiles in the student section, high fives in the stands, and let's tip our hat to Mount Vernon-Plankinton. They have played the Cavaliers tough all 4 times. They have squared off against St. Thomas More. St. Thomas More will celebrate this win, and they will have 8 days before they play another game, and they will be at home. They've earned that, going 10-0 this year. They will be at home against either an unfamiliar opponent, Clark Willow Lake, or they will face off against a familiar arch nemesis, the Winter Warriors, right here at Cavalier Field a week from Friday. Congratulations, Coach Austin Hagan and the St. Thomas More Cavaliers. The Saints Go Marching In is our song right now. I guess we're going to celebrate All Saints Day 2 days early. That's a good idea. I love All Saints Day. My favorite saint is not my patron saint, St. Michael the Archangel. I like him too, but I love St. Francis of Assisi. He's the saint with all the animals. He loves the animals. Okay, here we go. We're going to have a prayer, and Max Speed will lead both teams in prayer.
We have another lost phone.
And
Here in the press box.
what a sight. We'll be quiet and praise our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I think we've got Louis Armstrong, Saints Go Marching In right now. I've never heard a jazz song until tonight. Here we go. I like it. Well, the Cavaliers will get in the circle. What a moment. St. Thomas More returning to the Final Four for the 2nd year in a row. But this time, the Cavaliers will be at home in the Final Four. Expect an overflow crowd here next Friday night on November the 7th. Cavs with a chance to go back to the Dome for only the 7th time in program history and for the first time in 11 years. Cavs 0-6 all time in the state championship game. Will the 7th time be the lucky 7? Will the Cavaliers go the distance? They certainly have what it takes. We are so proud of our boys. 31-8, St. Thomas More victorious tonight over MVP. MVP wins 4 of their last 5 games, finishes 5-5 on the year. Cavs sweep the Titans in their 2 meetings this season, and St. Thomas More now 10-0. They were a perfect 4-0 in conference play. They're 10-0, and St. Thomas More extends their their winning streak now over East River opponents to 7 victories. No, check that. That's not true. To 5 wins in a row. Cavaliers had a long stretch there where they didn't beat any East River teams, but man, as the tide shifted. Cavs are 4-0 against East River teams this year. And actually, I just realized with 2 East River road wins last year over Groton area and MVP, they've now, doing the math right, yep, they beat Chamberlain at home, yep. All right, so they are won 7 in a row, and Coach Hagan is on his way up. We'll go ahead and let you kind of shift things around, maybe turn the lights on if you'd like to do that, Regan. And we will talk to a very happy head coach, Austin Hagan. This very happy broadcaster can't wait to bring you the post-game show as Coach Austin Hagan joins us right away as we get ready to bring you our Security First Bank Cavalier post-game show. St. Thomas More 31, MVP 8. Cavaliers able to pull out a 3-score victory tonight. And we'll wait for Coach Hagan to enter. Sometimes he gets intercepted right as he is coming up. Let's see if we have Coach here in a moment. And we do. Coach Austin Hagan joining us. So glad to have you with us, Coach. Congratulations, 10-0.
Yeah, thank you.
What a team we played tonight. Nothing came easy. Talk about what you saw in the first quarter, because it didn't look like us for a little while there.
Yeah, just miscues, penalties were a big factor in this game. That's not like us. We got to be able to clean those things up. We'll get that fixed for sure. We were down in the red zone quite a few times. We probably score on the first play of the game, but a penalty brings that back. And we preached to the guys before the game. Great Lou Holtz. He always said ability, motivation, and attitude. There's only one person that knows what our ability is, and that's the man upstairs. And we don't care about motivation because that comes and goes.
Yep.
You got to play this game with passion, but we preached that it was going to come down to attitude.
And it did come down to attitude. It also, I think, it came down to playing within the construct of the game. I mean, MVP wasn't going to give up big plays.
Mm-mm.
They didn't give up big plays. And in a lot of ways, it seemed like the team that kind of came out that really picked up, the Cavaliers picked up momentum in being able to capitalize on some penalties. And it seemed like if any team was the coolest team in the moment tonight, it was STM.
Yeah, just attitude. You get to make that decision and just continue to play. You're going to face adversity, and how resilient our defense is. Our whole team is really, they went down, scored. We were able to put a drive together and go down and score. And, just trusting one another, what they've been coached on, and playing our brand of football.
So this win tonight for the Cavaliers, another big home win. Right now with St. Thomas More football, it just seems like everything is kind of hitting on all cylinders. But a coach, even more so than any fan or broadcaster, always sees room for improvement, areas to get a little better. We know next week in the Final Four, whether it's Winter, whether it's Clark, Willow Lake, it's going to be a very hard-fought, tough game. That final step to the Dome can many times be the hardest one.
Yeah, we have to play clean football. Like I said, we got to fix some of those penalties, especially down in the red zone, capitalize on our opportunities, just play 4 quarters of football to our best of our abilities.
So this was also tonight a special moment. Anytime a team can win 10 games in a season in high school football, even in college football, that's special. What's it feel like as head coach to see your outstanding coaching staff and players celebrate a 10th win?
Yeah, just proud of our guys. It's been a long time coming. You know, I was their head coach when they were in 7th graders, and that's when we started this journey. Made it a goal then, and, you know, it's getting closer and closer, and then I'm just blessed. I believe I have the best coaching staff in the state. Owe a lot to them. They're, you know, all the time coaching me and teaching me, and second youngest or third youngest guy on our staff, and but just a phenomenal group of guys that dedicate so much time to this family that we have. Just super blessed, super thankful for them, and yeah, just love the STM family.
Finally, for an encore performance, Ryan Negebauer. I thought he played. If there was like a high school football focus, like a pro football focus, I think that Ryan last week would just about broken the machine. He did it again tonight.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get with Ryan. He's going to go hard. He knows his assignments. He plays great football on both sides of the field. I thought he had an awesome play down towards this sideline over here away from us on a big run where he came up and filled. And yeah, he's disciplined. He's worked hard. He trusts in his abilities, and he goes and makes plays.
Let's talk about MVP. Coach Quartermeyer doing a great job with his program. I know we had a lot of people watching probably from East River, from the MVP area, very complimentary of the team. I thought that you could really see a difference with Kyle Sandland on the field. He wasn't available in week 2. He was available here in round 2 tonight. Thought he was a real factor.
Yeah, he's a great football player. Coach Quartermeyer has done a wonderful job there. You know, he's hired in April, and week 2, you know, maybe they didn't quite have their identity, but you can see now, you know, how well the staff has done and their players have done of learning the system and being disciplined. That's a great football team that we just played.
Yes.
Yeah, Coach Quartermeyer, great football coach, has a great staff. His players play hard. He's doing awesome things.
So we won 2 games in a row on Thursday nights. There's going to be something special about a home game on the first Friday in November. Very few teams ever get to play in a game like that. What do you want to tell all of the Cavs crazies watching right now?
Just, we love your continued support. You guys are the best. Like I said, we have the best staff in the state. We also have the best fans in the state. It was rocking tonight.
It was.
Yeah, just blessed with you guys and following along and supporting these guys in and outside of football. It doesn't go unnoticed, and we greatly appreciate you guys.
Coach, I know there's probably a bunch of other people ready to interview you right now. It's that time of year. Everybody's here.
Yeah.
Thanks for making us your first stop.
Yes, thank you guys.
You bet. Thank you. That's head coach Austin Hagan. St. Thomas More wins 31-8 here at Cavalier Field. The Cavaliers are headed to the Final Four again, and this time there will be a big bus in the parking lot from the visiting team. St. Thomas More, one win away from a trip to the Dome, the Dakota Dome. We heard it the first day of training camp from Max Speed. He just said, we're going to the Dome. And you know what? Images of possibility look like images of probability after tonight's win. STM, though, will get someone's very best shot. But know this, for the Cavaliers, somebody is going to have to fight hard to take our dream away from this amazing group of young men our 10-0 St. Thomas More Cavaliers. Well, that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. St. Thomas More wins 31-8 and gets a season sweep over Mount Vernon-Plankinton, winning 3 games out of 4 between these two teams in the last few years, 2 years. For our camera operator, Regan Dewar, who did an excellent job tonight. For our great technical director, who unfroze our feed early on in this one and kept things rolling, Braden Strain. This is Mike Fell saying thank you for watching. Our final score tonight, St. Thomas More 31, Mount Vernon-Plankinton 8. The Cavs are headed to the Class 11B State Semifinals, also known as the Final Four. And we say good night and happy Halloween from Rapid City, South Dakota. All right, we did it. Good job, Regan.